Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, all you crypto traders, hodlers, and investors of cryptocurrency. Welcome to Crypto Traders Room. This is your host, Crypto Trader, and one of the only places where we keep it real with honesty and integrity. Olaf, good morning, buddy, or good evening. Enrique, ahoy, what is up, buddy? Hope everybody's doing well. And Olaf, I'm only getting that YouTube symbol. I don't know if you're commenting or something. Never seen that before. Andreas, pleasure to have you as always, buddy. Thank you for joining. And anybody that's new, thank you for finding us. And if you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification. And stay connected with us on Steam, at Twitter, as well as Facebook. Marion, what is going on, buddy? Hope all is well. Hey, I'm going to remove that comment, buddy. Nothing against you, but yeah, try not to use my my real name on the stream, please. But let's see. Round Bottoms. Great to see a new name on here. Wajahat Aslam. Good evening. Good morning. Arhald. Well, good morning, buddy. So I don't know if a lot of you guys are going to be happy with me, with the title. Cboe and CME futures will bring down Bitcoin. They will bring it to its knees. And I will explain that comment. But you definitely want to strap in for a wild ride that's going to be happening within Bitcoin. And if you guys don't know what Cboe and CME stands for, Cboe is the Chicago Board of Exchange, and CME is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So, but yeah, they're mainly used for trading futures, hedging, your bets, either going long or going short without really exposing yourself to a lot of money up front. That's basically what it is. You're buying contracts, whether you're taking a long position with those contracts or a short position with those contracts. And depending on how long those contracts last for, you have the option to execute those contracts if that trade works out in your favor. If it doesn't, then you don't execute it because you're not putting up that much on the line. So a lot of people trade futures, options, because they don't have to put up a lot of money in order to get in those types of bets. But yeah, the issue that I see with Cboe and CME is, the average trader is not really involved in trading futures. There might be some, but mainly, it's the big boys, it's the whales, and we do have a lot of whales, in the cryptocurrency market, but we got some orca whales in the futures market, and orca whales will eat up the big whales. I mean, it's happened before. Metals, precious metals. They're able to dump precious metals and bring it down if they wanted to. So these big boys that I'm talking about are institutional investors. They're the banks, that don't want to see Bitcoin succeed. All these banks have been, calling Bitcoin a scam. Jamie Dimon and a bunch of his cronies, they don't want to see Bitcoin succeed. So what are they going to do? They're going to short it, and it's a great place to short Bitcoin. If you could do it in the futures market, and that's exactly, I think their plan is, for listing it on the futures market, is to really bring it down. And I think they have a plan. And these orca whales, I mean, they'll eat us up. They'll eat us up. They'll eat up these big whales, that are swimming in the ocean with, in the sense of Bitcoin. But I mean, who else is going to benefit from this? So we do have institutional investors that will benefit from it. These are people with massive amount of money that will hedge against their investments, and they'll hedge against their investments by, shorting BTC. But also miners. We got to remember miners, will have a lot of insider information, more insider information than we have. When the hashing power moves from, Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Gold or, wherever it's moving to, they have that insider information. And when mining power moves from one cryptocurrency to another, that does tend to, have a correction in BTC or, whatever it is that they're taking the hashing power away from. So they're going to be hedging their mining. If they're mining Bitcoin and they sense that Bitcoin is going to be taking a dip, they're going to hedge against their long position, what they're mining. So, the way to hedge it is in the futures market. So this futures market thing, it's not that great, to be honest with you, in the sense of, seeing a huge increase in the price of BTC. But it's great for mass adoption, because it is going to get the word out about BTC. So for mass adoption, it's great. For price action, it's really not good. It'll keep BTC stable. We won't see these crazy, 50%, 100% increases within a matter of, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. It was just recently at 8,500. It dropped to 8,000. Where was that drop here? 8,600, let's just say. I know, Andreas, you got an 8,600. It dropped to 8,595 on Coinbase, depending on what exchange you're looking at. And it's up to $12,865. That's a huge increase within a very, very short period of time. And that was only on November 29th. So we're not going to see these huge types of gains with Cboe and CME futures being traded. It's going to keep BTC very, very stable. Hopefully not a huge tank, but I can see them bringing it down, to be honest with you. But yeah, let me see what you guys are saying. You guys can agree with me. You can disagree with me. You can hate me for that comment. I know somebody, before I even got a chance to talk, hit that thumbs down button, but that's all right. We can definitely agree to disagree. And these aren't only my opinions only. And, I think on the last live stream, I said, we're going to see 13,400. BTC will get up to 13,400 before having that massive correction. And, Cboe hasn't started trading yet. Cboe will start trading on the 10th, I think, to my understanding. And CME will start trading on the 18th. So, those features, are right around the corner. And I said, we'll see 13,400. We'll see a nice increase. And I think I said that in the beginning of the live stream on Monday. And then we're going to see that massive dip. It is going to happen, so, or I could be completely wrong. I could be completely wrong. But from what I know about, futures markets, it's not that great. It is not that great in the sense of having a great price action movement, especially the way we're seeing these price action moves. And institutional investors, these big banks, they don't want to see Bitcoin do what it's currently doing right now. They don't want money to funnel out of the financial market. They don't want money to funnel out of their banks and go into cryptocurrency. So, by them shorting it, stabilizing the price, bringing it down, then maybe the people will think, well, in their opinion, they're hoping that people will think, okay, you know what, there's no sense in me getting into the cryptocurrency market. I'd rather keep my money in the stock market. I'd rather keep my money in the bank because BTC is just so volatile. But yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. Round bottoms. Yeah, you are new, man. It's awesome. Like I said, it's great to see new names on here. I do appreciate you joining. Thank you so much. BTC features will boom the market. I don't know, buddy. I don't know. We can agree to disagree on that one. It might in the beginning, but yeah, in the overall grand scheme, it's not. And I don't watch YouTube, so I haven't really been, listening to what other people are saying. But I'm sure you guys are scouring the web or scouring YouTube for information. So let me know if anybody is talking about what I just talked about. But to my understanding, I don't think anybody's really talking about, how bad really, BTC features could be in the long run. Marion, not a problem, buddy. Not a problem. Stefan, what is up, buddy? Welcome. Tony, welcome, buddy. SkyTech, as always. They will first get wrecked. So, it's going to be the retail investors that are going to get wrecked, unfortunately. And it's going to be, the retail investors that have become whales in this cryptocurrency market. And the futures market, like I said, it's orca whales, and orca whales will eat up anything in that ocean. So it's the orca whales that are going to be really controlling this BTC price if they're heavily going to start shorting it. Now, if they take a long position in futures, that's great. They're betting that the price is going to go up. But, if they're betting that the price is going to go down, and majority of them, that are big, orca whales in the futures market are, thinking the same exact thing or colluding, to bring down the price, easily, 5 or 6, big orca whales in the futures market, with billions and billions of dollars can definitely bring it down, unfortunately. Alan Greenspan, man, he was the most powerful man in the U.S. was. Not anymore though, because he's not in his position anymore. But yeah, anybody that controls interest, the interest market is the most powerful man in the world. So not the president. He's not the most powerful man in the world. If you can control money, you can control interest rate. You are the most powerful man in the world. And Alan Greenspan, he was the most powerful man in the world. So yeah, I didn't read what Alan Greenspan is saying, or even hear what he had to say about BTC. Yeah, I mean, we're having a nice run. We are having a nice run. So BTC on GDAX is 12,864. Coin market cap has it at, let's see, I got to refresh this. It's probably over the 13,096 bucks that it's showing now. But yeah, I mean, we'll see that 13,400, like I said on Monday. We'll see it, definitely. And it could exceed it, to be honest with you. But once Feature starts trading, man, it's going to be a wild ride. It definitely is. 15K before the 10th. That's a $2,000 increase within 4 days. I mean, it could do it. It could do it, but that's a huge increase. But it could definitely do it though. But yeah, let's see. I don't think this thing refreshed. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be crazy. It is gonna be crazy. But yeah, let me get to some of the comments, and then we'll take a look at the overall market, see what's doing good, and what's really taking a beating, and then we'll take a look at BTC and maybe some other cryptocurrencies that you guys want me to take a look at. Yeah, the Orca whales are loving this price increase. They're loving it. They want this thing to go high because once they start shorting it and really bring it down, and I hate to speculate, but I can see them bringing it down to the mark of the beast, $6,666.66. It's a possibility. I mean, this is the wild, wild west of the cryptocurrency market that we're in, and anything is a possibility. But yeah, that $6,666.66. I mean, I'm just making that up. Not saying that it is going to make it down there. And please do not trade based on what I'm saying. I mean, make your own decisions. But definitely, just prepare yourself. What's going to happen possibly on the 10th and the 18th. The 10th might not be that much of a wild swing, but on the 18th, when you have Cboe and CME trading features and it's being shorted, then we could have even more of a wild swing. Daniel, strong hands. What is up, buddy? Round bottoms, more profit when shorting. Absolutely. Absolutely. There are more people that short than go long. That's really where the money is for institutional investors, because they can really bring the market down to its knees. They can get it to swing any way they want, and they can make a lot more money from shorting, a lot more than going long. Stefan, yes, dude. I'm glad you agree with me. And Stefan's comment is he wholeheartedly agrees with my take on BTC price and institutional investors playing short games soon, followed by panic selling. And yes, and that's one thing I didn't cover is that panic selling, because when they start shorting and bringing the price down, panic selling ensues, and more knobs now than ever ready to panic. Absolutely. My buddy just bought BTC, I think yesterday. And I was like, dude, you bought it at the top, basically. I mean, yeah, he's up a little bit. But yeah, when it comes down, he's going to be, I don't think he purchased a lot. But yeah, I was like, it's not the time to buy it. Wait for a correction, and that correction will happen. But yeah, you're right. Knobs are going to panic, unless they kind of set it and forget it. But yeah, if they're watching this market like a hawk, and they got in and they're just ecstatic about the price increase, and they're watching it, all of a sudden it starts to tank. You're right, man. It's the shorts that are going to bring it down a little bit. The panic selling ensues. The knob starts selling, and it's just that domino effect. It really is. Tony, thank you for hitting that like button, bud. Yeah, and if you guys disagree with me, I mean, let me know. I mean, you want to hit the thumbs down button. I don't hold anything against anybody at all. So, but yeah, I'm sure there are people that don't agree with what I just said at all, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with me. There's nothing wrong with agreeing with me. So, I mean, that's just That's the best thing about, having your opinions. We could all kind of agree to disagree. Sell all your BTC for Ponzi. Nah, stay away from Ponzi. Excuse me. Does it matter to you that it's all cash settled and no BTC? But no, they have to put up, cash. They have to put up cash. But yeah, they're not going to be truly owning BTC. You're absolutely right about that. Oh, thanks, Scott. I didn't know you were on this call, buddy, or on this live stream. Yeah, next time chat, man, instead of texting me on my phone. I know you're working, though. All right, a couple more comments, and then we'll take a look at the overall market. Yes, LTC will definitely be stable. I completely agree. Monero, because really they're not shorting anything else. They're going to be shorting BTC. Monero, we can take a look at Monero. I'll put that on my list. Patrick, welcome, buddy. It's been a long time. Great to have you on here. Tony, I'm not sure if I understand that question. What is shorting going to hit up Google? So when are shorts going to hit up Google? So we can talk about the stock market just briefly. A lot of the Fortune 500, Google, Amazon, Netflix, you name it, these big companies, it's hard to short them because there really isn't too much of a price swing. It's a very stable price action move that they're having. So shorts really don't pile into those because more likely they're going to end up losing money. It's a very stable price. It's just going to continuously go up. The only time that it does, have a nice correction is when there's a catastrophic event that globally that happens, whether it's war, whatever it might be, North Korea firing off missiles. That's the only time that, the housing market crash. But Google is not heavily shorted at all. They would be losing, and shorts are not there to lose, to be honest with you. So yeah, they don't short Google. How to short Bitcoin? Well, first you need a margin account, and Coinbase or GDAX did have a margin account where you were able to short really BTC, Litecoin, and Ethereum, but they took that margin away. So you need a margin account. So you need an exchange that allows you margin. And then as long as they allow you margin, then you can short BTC. So with shorting, you're buying at the top and then selling on a nice correction, and you're pocketing the difference basically. Yeah, Patrick, exactly. It's going to cause that correction, whether it's a minor correction, a massive correction, it is. And the best way to play it is exactly what you said, is to kind of wait and start buying some cheap Bitcoins, because when they bring it down to a level where they're comfortable with it. They're going to buy back, cover their short position, and they're going to turn that short position into a long position. And then they'll keep doing that over and over again. Price skyrockets. They'll get out of their long position, short it, price drops, cover to get out of their short position and go long. They'll keep doing that over and over again. Yeah, I agree. There's going to be a lot of FUD that's going to come out. A lot of FUD. Blake, what is up, buddy? Welcome. We'll have to see, Marianne. We'll have to see, how alts are going to react to this. We will definitely have to see, but I can see some of the more dominating alts do very well, and we'll take a look at them. LTC has always been stable, Enrique. Always been stable. Really, in relation to both, to fiat and BTC. Okay, so Daniel, you're saying shorts could cause BTC to go 100,000 K very fast. Yes and no. Now we got to remember, Cboe, CME, these are people with millions upon millions, billions of dollars. Let's just say hypothetically, they shorted at 13,000, and for some reason retail investors step in and kind of drive the price up. Other cryptocurrency whales step in and drive the price up. They're not going to cover their short position. They're not going to cover it. They're going to add to it, is what they're going to do. So they're going to raise their cost average. These orca whales in the futures market do not just kind of let it go and cover at a loss. They will add to that short position. So yeah, even if we get a nice uptick, they're going to add to that short position and just really try to suppress it and suppress it and suppress it. I mean, they have billions and billions and billions of dollars, so to them, it's nothing, especially these banks that want to see BTC crumble. Suzanne, good afternoon from Cyprus. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the overall market. I think I got to the majority of the comments, whether you guys agree with me or disagree or not agree. But 42 watchers, thank you guys so much. I do appreciate you guys joining. And if you are a new time viewer, thank you for finding us. And don't forget to click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification. But yeah, BTC, let's see, a little under, well, especially on CoinMarketCap, depending on what exchange you're looking at. But CoinMarketCap does kind of take the average of some of the exchanges. So a little under 13,000, but we're going to specifically start looking at some of the exchanges. So it's up 8.5%. F is down, unfortunately. Bitcoin Cash is down. IOTA was up about 40-something%, up 27%, which is still impressive. And I like to see that, it's making headways and it's, it's getting up there. Now it's a fast move. Yes, it's got great news, but it's too fast of a move, way too fast. And we'll take a look at Monaco as well too. I think Monaco had a nice run up. I think I saw it at $12 and I was like, it's too expensive for me to buy. It ran up to 16, and then it came down to $11. And then we'll take a look at a flash crash that just recently happened. And yeah, it's pure manipulation. But yeah, Monero is up nicely. Let's see, Stellar 51%. I mean, that's huge. It was just at 8 cents not long ago. EOS has been doing very well. Monocoin stepped out of nowhere. I don't know what Monocoin is, but definitely wasn't up in the top 30. Now it's number 18 on the CoinMarketCap. Omisa Go has dropped. It hit that $10. And from the previous video, I did say $10 was going to have a resistance, and it has that resistance at $10. So really, I mean, if you're trading, if you're actively trading, you got to plot out your support and resistance and start trimming some of the position at the resistance. If you're actively trading, if you're a long-term investor, you're probably not even watching this video. You're probably not even on this live stream. But if you're actively trading and looking to lock in the profits, you got to know where those resistance are and start locking in some profit. Not sell everything, because you really don't know if it's going to downtrend from that, but start locking in some of the profit. And if you were to lock in profit at 10, you have the profit and the capital to buy back in. And I think it reached probably like 10. I think 10.15 was a high that it hit, but we'll take a look at it. Let's see what else is making a move. Einsteinium, never heard of it, 113%. But where's Monaco? Because I am looking, I'm accumulating Monaco, but I'm not buying it at these crazy prices. $11. It had a crazy run up to $16, and $12 was, when actually at $5 was when I was buying it. It ran up to $6. I was like, I'm not going to buy it yet. And then it just kind of ran up, and I was like, there's no sense in me chasing it. I'm just looking to accumulate. I'm not looking to trade it. So, I'm not even going to buy it at $11, to be honest with you. We'll not buy it at 11. Let me cover this quick flash crash that happened. And this was on Binance for Ripple, XRP. They brought it down to 2 Satoshis. They brought it down quick. This is a 1-hour chart, but I mean, flash crashes happen within, milliseconds. Yeah, they don't last too long at all. They don't stay down at that specific price. And I talked about in the past, if it hasn't happened yet on a cryptocurrency, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when, and a matter of, having a crazy lowball offer, being greedy. Be greedy with that lowball offer, especially if it's, $100, $200 that you're not going to be really using, and you have it sitting there. You might as well put a lowball offer in. You have nothing to lose. you just have a huge gain, possibly, if it does come crashing down. And that's exactly what happened. Came crashing down, brought right back up. Pure manipulation. Whether it's Binance that's doing this, or somebody just decided to fat finger it and dump it, or it's malicious. I mean, who knows? But it came right back up to where it was. But yeah, flash crash on Ripple, XR. Well, actually, flash crash on XRP on Binance, and we've seen other flash crashes in the past that I kind of talked about. This one was Neo, brought it down to 373 on Bitfinex. OMG was brought down to 275, and then there was another one. ETP was brought down to 5 cents. So these flash crashes do happen. It's just a matter of having capital and having that low ball offer in. Wait, let me go ahead and close those out. But yeah, these flash crashes, I mean, they're there to take out stop losses. That's what they're there for. They're for stop losses, for margins, margin call. So, honestly, stay away from margin. Stay away from it, especially in this cryptocurrency market, because these flash crashes will cause you to get liquidated. Round bottom. So what can you do to stop it from happening? To stop what from happening? These flash crashes or CME futures? If you're talking about like CME futures and really bringing down the the BTC market, it's don't have stop losses in the book. Don't play with margin. That's my honest opinion. No stop loss. Stop limit loss. Yes, limit that loss, but not stop loss by itself. Oh, Scotty boy, I work, man. I work. I got 3 kids. That's 3 full-time jobs on its own. But thanks for that text message. Let's see. When you understand what blockchain is, it can literally overthrow America and China and Russia. Is that what Gary Vee said? Yeah, it can definitely make a huge difference. It definitely can. We're still at that early stage. It's only less than 9 years old. So it's still a baby. It's still a baby, and the future looks bright. It really does. Yeah, I mean, if it dips, I'm ready to buy too. I am ready to buy if it dips. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Is BTC on Coinbase, looking at the 3-hour chart, just to kind of give you an overall picture of what I plotted out, and I only plotted out to 5,000. So I mean, these are just basically support lines. Not that it's going to get there anytime soon, but if it does, we can somewhat have an idea. Now we don't know the probabilities. The probabilities are very slim currently right now. But at least, we have where the possible supports might be. And of course, we have our suppression zone where it was really suppressed for, what was that? Let's see, for about 6 days. It was just really held within a very specific range. And, that's an area that I would be comfortable buying, with my money. At these levels here, I wouldn't be buying, not at all. I would be, if you had a position, I would be trimming the position. I wouldn't sell everything right now, but I would start trimming that position, start locking in the profits. If you're able to, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what alts you can go into, but I personally like going into USD because I just don't know what those alts are going to do. If those alts decide to tank, I'm giving up majority of my profit. So, I would be comfortable buying at this $8,000, $8,300 level. And before really we had this nice increase up. Let me look at this closely. On this very nice little, massive move that we had from, 8,400 down here, which is the upper range of that suppression zone, to 11,500. When really it started to downtrend, and I was doing a live stream at that time, and it hadn't really come down to the level of 8,500, 8,590, I think it was. 85.95. I said that, this thing could come down to the 83.75, 8400 range. And, she got just a little over that. So, missed it by $195 basically. But, it's got areas of support going forward, and, prior resistance it's always about probabilities, can become current support. So we had a nice little suppression where it was really held down under, the 11,800. It tried to peak out. It got to 11,891, broke down to 10,060. I mean, that's a nice little retracement there. That is a nice little retracement, from 11,000, let's just say 11,900 to 10,600. A $1,300 retracement within a 6-hour period. And the bears really brought it down, but the bulls, decided that, we're going to take control of this price action. And that's why we got a long wick down here. But at one point, this was a massive, massive red candle until the bulls decided to step in. But ever since, that nice little drop that we had, she has maintained a nice support line. Not looking at the SWIC, looking at the closing price, she maintained a nice support line at 11,250. But still, this is a somewhat short-term suppression zone. So let me go ahead and put a box there. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. This is a short-term suppression, basically, not a long-term suppression, short-term. So when I say suppression, I mean just basically, it had a hard time breaking below a specific price and had a hard time breaking out above a specific price, which is the same thing as consolidation. So it really didn't break out above that 11,800, didn't break down below the 11,250. We'll just say to make the math easy. So it stayed within that range, and then really had a confirmed breakout above that area of resistance, that upper area of the suppression zone. And this candlestick kind of confirmed that breakout. Now, these other candlesticks here really didn't confirm any type of breakouts. As we can see, they really stayed within that range of the upper suppression zone, of the upper consolidation zone, the range. But this candlestick gave you a clear confirmation of a breakout. It didn't break back down. We have a full candlestick with no wick whatsoever on the 3-hour price action movement. And then really every candle after that has closed green. So, that area, the upper area, is going to be the first area of support, which is in the red. Second area of support, it's going to be right the bottom end of that consolidation zone. And it's going to have somewhat of a better support at that level due to prior resistance really becoming current support. And we do see a prior resistance here and then a breakout here. So if it does come down, it's going to have, the probabilities are not high because it wasn't really numerous times. I would like to see it, at least, 5 times, attempt to break out, or 5 times attempt to break down below a specific resistance or support. And if it does that, then the probabilities are a lot higher. And I keep making these mistakes. Then the probabilities are a lot higher that is a strong area of support, or the other way around, a strong area of resistance. So, we will have our second area of support. Third area of support that I see is that psychological price point, which is still 10,000. That 10,000 is going to be key level for it to maintain. But with CME and Cboe futures, anything's a possibility. Anything, it could definitely crash through these levels if they are being heavily shorted. And if the price increases, they're just going to add to that short position. That's why the average person, the retail investors, don't really trade futures, because if the price moves against them, more than likely they're not going to have capital to add back to it. They're going to be liquidated. They're going to have to cover. They don't have a choice. But these, billionaires that got really a deep pocketbook with unlimited supply of capital, they just add to that position and keep adding to the position and keep adding to the position. It's only really when they're forced to cover that it really adds a nice little parabolic move. But yeah, I'm still waiting for this bottom range here in the green. That's going to be really a great area for me to add on to a position if I have capital. at that time if I have capital. Right now, I don't have any capital at all. Unfortunately, I don't have any USD to be able to add. Even if we were to have a nice little dip on this, I couldn't add to it. So it's always good to have capital on the sideline. But yeah, this thing has just been on a tear, on a tear. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see exactly what the days will bring leading up to the 10th, and then what it's going to really bring on the 18th, when you have two features platforms really taking part in either taking a long position or taking a short position. But yeah, this is just it's a massive push. Ever since 2015, even 2016. I mean, let's just say, even as of April 2017. So 7 months, pushing up from $1,000 to $1,200. I mean, a 12x return, almost 1,300, almost a 13x return on this. Let's see if anything's changing in the sense of the market cap. Stefan, you predict Monero to wake up to be number 3, number 4. Number 3, let's see. I mean, it's to be number 4. It's got a lot of gains. I mean, even at a 100% increase from its current price right now, that would put it right in the range of $9.4, $9.5 billion market cap. So that would definitely put it, number 5. It would overtake Ripple, and that's as long as Ripple or XRP is not making a move from its current level right now. So it definitely has the ability to move. I would say if it sustains this price and has a nice healthy move going forward, it could definitely overtake Dash and overtake that that 6th spot. Dash has just been up on a tear, and it's gone up way too high, way too quick. I don't see that. I don't see it going up to $1,000 anytime soon. Can it? Yeah, it definitely can over a long period of time, but not right now. Especially if people have the ability to get a master node for 1,000 Dash coins, and they lock them up, then yeah, it's going to reduce the circulating supply, and it could definitely move up. But as long as it stays within that range, yeah, Monero can definitely take it up, but it needs to go up 100% from its current level. So it needs to be at like $612. That's a huge increase. That's a huge increase for it. OMG, patience is key. Yes, let's go ahead and take a look at OMG. Olaf, 2 Satoshis, that's what it's worth. Oh man, it's got a huge backing. That's the thing about XRP. It's got a huge backing. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, man, 2 Satoshis? Like, really? They brought it down to nothing. What's 2 Satoshis worth? What is that, like a 0.0001 cents? 1,000th of a penny, or 1,000,000th of a penny? Yeah, that's just that's crazy. That's a crazy move. It's a crazy dump, as I should say, not a crazy move. Crazy dump. Neo Flash, I did. I showed Neo Flash, OMG Flash, and EVP Flash. If you weren't on, let me see if my screen share is going to catch up to what I'm saying. It hasn't moved over yet, especially on the other screen. But yeah, I shared this, not probably a week ago, and I shared this today. But yeah, it did have Neo did have a flash crash, OMG had a flash crash, and ETP had a flash crash as well too. And the ETP flash crash was massive. So did SAN. SAN had a crash as well too, probably 3 weeks ago. They brought it down to 0.0001 cents. from 28 cents, 30 cents, I think it was. They really brought it down. And then, you know, what's sand doing now? You know, over $3. You know, I was thinking about my 14,000 coin position that I bought at 25 cents. I was like, man, I bought those at 25 cents. Now they're worth over $3. Yeah. Kind of shook my head and I was like, man, why didn't I huddle? I should have huddled them. I should have locked them up. But you guys know what happened. Bitfinex, they shook me out of that position, and they shook me out of that position pretty bad. Oh, this was, let's see. Yeah, that was on the 29th, that flash crash. But yeah, they brought it down. They brought it down good. But that, where did I share? You know what? Let me go look at Crypto Watch. I think it was on Crypto Watch that I had plotted everything out. No, I thought I plotted this out. I might have erased it. But I did talk about in the one video that, you know, $10 was the level of resistance for it. And it got to $10.56, $10.64 before breaking back down. And I wish I still had this plotted out. I thought I did. I might have erased it. What happens if they can't keep Bitcoin down? Crypto Brad, welcome, by the way. Well, it all depends. You know, if they're shorting, more than likely they'll add to that short position again and they'll keep adding to it. But if they're long, if they have a long futures position, then yeah, it's just going to keep, because they're betting that the price is going to go up. When they're shorting, they're betting that the price is going to go down. And you know, the problem with, you know, these billionaires that are, you know, on Wall Street is that you know, they can tag team BTC, or they can tag team anything and bring it down. They really can. All right, let's see. So OMG. That was a nice level there that I had plotted out at $6. And that was back in November 2nd, where it really came down to that $5.50. And I think some of you guys did take advantage of that. But $10 is going to be still an area of resistance for it. Yeah, but it got right up to that $10.56. So really $10.56. But anywhere from $10, $10.56 is going to be that area that it's going to have somewhat of a hard time breaking out unless it gives you a clear confirmation that it is breaking out above that line. So that's an area where you would kind of start trimming a little bit of your position, maybe trim 1/10 of your position, trim 15% of your position. Not to sell everything, because remember, trading is all about probabilities. It could easily break out and give you a clear confirmation of a breakout, and then stabilize at a very specific price. We're looking at the one-day chart. So let me get out of this one-day chart. Actually, let's go back to that one day, just to plot out exactly where the other major resistance is going to be. That $13, anywhere from the range of $12.85 to $13 is going to be that area of resistance. So we're going to plot it out at the actual closing price on the one-day candlestick. But on a smaller time frame, you know, it's going to be the closing price is going to be a little higher. So $13 really. I mean, I remember selling at $13.50. I mean, it was great, you know. And if I didn't have that in the order book, there was no way I would have been able to sell $13.50. No way. It happened so quick, and then it came right back down. And the reason why I went up to $13.70 was it got listed on, I think, Poloniex. That's the only reason why it went up. And I sold like 225 of the coins that I had. But yeah, if I didn't have that in the order book, there's no way I would have been able to get out. All right, so let's look at this a little more granular. Vertcoin. Bryson, welcome by the way. We'll take a look at Vertcoin. I have covered Vert, and I think I still have everything plotted out on Vert. I don't know why that's plotted there, but let me delete that. All right, so let's see. Going forward, like I said, $10, 10.55 or 10.50 is going to be an area of resistance for it. So if you do have a position and you're in the profit, it doesn't hurt to lock in profit. And I've said it before, there's no shame in locking in profit. It's greed that's going to really take away your profit. So if you have profit and it's hitting an area of resistance, lock in that profit. Sell a tenth, sell 15%. But yeah, let's see what else happened between the battle of the bears and the bulls. Where has majority of the action happened? And I'm going to say right around here at this level of $8.10. But I mean, it's never 100% that is exact T is going to come to. It's all about probabilities, and that's all it is. I mean, it could do $8.15 and have a nice bounce up. But $8.10, $8 is going to have a nice area of support. Next area of support for this thing is going to be that $7.15. And really what I look at is just how many times did it bounce from that level. And yes, she can crash through that level, but as long as she comes right back up and hovers above that level, then you know what, that's an area that I would be looking at. And you can see many times here where it broke through that $8 level and came down to $6.91, but then came right back up and closed above that price. And I mean, this is a massive, massive candlestick here that really brought it up to above that $7.15. So they can crash through that area of support that you would plot out easily if selling intensifies, but they come right back up. Then you know what, that 715 is pretty solid because it came right back up and it actually closed above that 715, and then every other candlestick held basically that 715. And then if going forward, had a nice little run up, came down. What did she retest? She retested that 715, crashed through it a little bit, but looking at the closing price, and I always look at the closing price. I don't look at the wick at all. The wick just tells me that, the bears brought it down and the bulls brought it back up, but the closing price was that 712, 715-ish. And you can see that numerous times on a lot of these price action movement, where that level has bounced up from. And the more time that it bounces up from a specific level, the higher the probabilities of it maintaining that level. So we have it there. We have it here. We have it here. We have it here. So the probability of that support holding, I would say, are great. We have it. Let's take a look at this price action movement here. She crashed through that 715 and actually crashed to $7, came right back up with a vengeance. And I mean, that is just a clear confirmation of a major, major support. So it's happening here. So the more times that it's bouncing from a very specific level, the higher the probabilities. It's always, always, always about probabilities. You're never going to be 100% correct. Nobody's 100% correct. If that was the case, everybody and their mother with an internet connection would be trading. Now, your probabilities, your theses, it's either going to come correct. You're either going to be right or you're going to be wrong. So you're going to be proven right or you're going to be proven wrong. And when you're proven right, that's when you make money. When you're proven wrong, that's when you're going to lose money. And you want to have a plan of action when you're proven wrong. So what is your plan of action when you are actually proven wrong? And then we're going to plot out one other point, and then I'm going to see going forward how it has reacted to that very specific point. And I'm not looking at the comments. So if you guys are leaving any comments, I'm probably not going to be able to respond to them, considering we're taking a look at OMG. But if BTC is tanking or something's happening, let me know, and then I'll put at Crypto Traders Room so that comment stands out. So let's see, going forward, that $5 range, what has happened in that $5 range? Now, I'm not saying that it's going to come to $5 range, but if shit was to hit the fan, what is going on with that $5 range? So nothing. So I need to move it up a little bit and see how it have reacted in the past to 550. I think 550 was a nice area. Really, 550 is bare bottom. Bare bottom if shit was to happen. And let's go ahead and put a circle here, because it did come down to 550, but it wasn't too many times. So that was a while back. I mean, we're going back to August 12th there, but just probably within the past month or so, it has retested that level. So how many times has it retested that level? That's the most important thing to look at. All right, it retested that $5 level, or 550, I'm sorry, twice. So the probabilities of it retesting that level are slim, but it has retested it. Now to think, oh, you know what, I'm going to wait for $4, it's wishful thinking. It hasn't retested those levels at all. Now it could, but the probabilities of it retesting that $4 level or this level here at 387, $4 are very slim, very, very, very slim. The chances of it retesting 550 are a little better than retesting $4. The level, the chances of it retesting 622 are a little better, but the chances of it retesting $7 are even greater. And as you can see with the circles that I have, that it has retested those levels. And I forgot a couple other circles here, but there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, 6. It crashed through it, retested the $5 that it retested back in August. And then it retested it here as well. So the more times that it retests a specific level, the more of a probability of it coming to that point. So, it's retested that $7 range numerous times. Now, this is not an advice to sell saying that it's going to come down to that level. But if you don't have a position and you're patient with your trades, and I'm a very patient trader, I don't really chase things. You're a patient trader and you're waiting for a specific level. That's a level that I would wait for. Now, it might not hit exactly 712. It might hit 725 or 730. But I do like that $7. Oh, let me get rid of that. But I do like that level. Let's see what else happened at those very specific levels. Good amount of fighting, between the bears and the bulls. Let me see what I can draw out here. At that level there, which is right around the $7 and 720, 730, that range there, as well as that range there, which it has retested it right here. And that's a 625-ish, something to that extent. So there's numerous times where it has tested very specific levels. And the more chances, or the more times that it retests a very specific level and bounces from that level, then that the probabilities are a lot higher. And if you are going to take a position, maybe that's where you should be patient and kind of wait for. If you're a patient trader like me, if you're not a patient, then you can get into any level, but yeah, it might turn against you, it might go up, but your reward versus your risk is a lot higher if you wait for a very specific level. If I wait for $7 or 712, then I know that, what? My reward versus my risk are a lot higher, because then I know that, $7 at $10, it's going to have resistance So I can, lock in some profits from, let's just say 710, 715, or buy in at 710, 715, and then start trimming my position at $10. Not sell everything, scale out of that position. And the 715 is not a level for you to say, oh, you know what? It's bounced off that level numerous times. That's where I'm going all in. Never go all in at a specific level, because it could crash to that level easily, but the probabilities of it holding up are greater than it crashing down. But if it does crash to the next area of support, which would be the $6.25, then you have capital to add on to that and lower your cost average. So then your cost average, if you buy the same amount that you bought at 715, you buy it at 615, you just kind of lower your cost average by 50 cents. So, that's really the best way of playing these things. And actually, it has to be tested that almost close to that 715 again. So I retested it here. So, I mean, looking at this, I like that 715, and I really like it a lot. Just like I liked that 530 a long time ago when I told somebody, hey, you know what? 530 is what I'm sorry, not 530, 550 is what I would wait for. And this was the level right here. And I forget who it was on the live stream, ended up buying it at 550, and they told me they bought it at 550. And I was like, that's awesome. I'm like, you were patient with it. So, I mean, if you're looking to get into OMG, wait to see how she reacts, to a possible downtrend. Put an order in to buy at 715, 720, but not go all in. And then maybe put another order in at the next area of support, which would be right around the 615, 620 range. So if you buy at 720, then maybe add to that position at 620, because the probability of it hitting there are very good. Now, let's just say, it decides to really take a flop. That bare bottom, support that it hasn't really retested too many times, but it hasn't really gone below it in a very, very extended period of time, is that 550. Twice it retested 550. So really, I mean, it's been ever since August 10th that it has not really gone down below that 550 range. So really, those are the three areas of entry points that I would be personally looking at. Now, if a flash crash happens, it's going to hit those entries. It's going to hit those three different spots right away, very quick. As long as you're not playing with margin. If you're playing with margin, and you get in at 710 and it has a crash, you're going to be instantly liquidated, and you might be liquidated at $3.50. They're not going to have any mercy on you. So be very careful with margin. My honest opinion, stay away from it. Stay away from it. But yeah, key levels to look at: $7.10, $7.15, $6.20, and then the bare bottom at $5.50 for OMG. But yeah, let me answer some questions for you guys and see what you guys are saying. But yeah, Tony, patience is key. Patience is key to getting a good entry. GRX. I've never heard of GRX. What is GRX? Gold reward token. Down 11%. So no circulating supply yet. We don't know exactly, how far it's going to move up in the ranking of the coin market cap until they actually release the circulating supply. I do like the max supply being 20 million, or the total supply being 20 million. I don't know if that's going to be the max supply or not. Traded on exchanges I don't really like: Coin Exchange, Ether Delta, Livecoin, Coin Exchange, BTC pair. The volume is pretty good, 2.9 million. They control 85%. If you guys are using Coin Exchange, put in a low ball offer, 10 cents. You never know. That crash could happen. 85% of the volume is a good amount. 86% of the volume is a good amount that they are, that's on their specific exchange. So if somebody wants to dump it and crash it, that's the exchange that they're going to dump it and crash it on. But the other exchanges I would kind of stay away from. The volume is kind of light. I would look for anywhere in the range of 500,000 in volume. Especially if you're going to be taking a very sizable position. It's easier to get in and get out if there is more of a sizable volume. And right now it's just coin exchange on the BTC pair. But yeah, I'm going to put that on my list. Patrick, was that you who mentioned that? Yeah, Patrick, you mentioned it. I will take a look at this. So I'll probably have to do a little bit more research because I don't really know what the gold reward token is. Hopefully it's not a high yield investment plan. You know, if it's a HYIP, I stay away from it. Stay away from it. So if it is a high yield investment plan, let me know. But yeah, this thing hasn't really been, I mean, it hasn't been trading for too long. So depending on, you know, where people got in on the ICO, you know, there could be a lot of profit taken. You know, so let's just say hypothetically they got in at $3 on the ICO. Yeah, at $7, they're taking profit. You know, over 100% profit, and they brought it down. They really brought it down to, what's that, 375-ish? Actually, no, $3, two something. They brought it down to. So I found that nice support, but you know, I mean, we don't have too much data. We don't have much information, and data's key. Just like how I just analyzed OMG, you know, you want to see exactly how many times is it bouncing off a very specific level. Then you know the probabilities are higher. I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it over and over and over again. It's all about probabilities. And right now, looking at this, I would say, you know, the probabilities are somewhat slim, but it has, you know, kind of retested that, you know, $2 or $3 there, and then it retested under $3 there. So if I was interested in this, I would kind of wait for $3. You know, but it could crash through it because it hasn't given us much data, and data is key. And as long as you have that data, you have a little bit more information, and your probabilities are a little higher. But I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'm going to put $3 level to kind of keep an eye on it and see. But it's not on any exchange that I use. Actually, I do have Lifecoin exchange. Never funded it. I can't remember the last time I even logged into it. So, but yeah, I mean, I'll keep an eye on it on CoinMarketCap, and if it dips to that level and I have some capital, I'll get in it. Crypto Brad, what happens if they can't keep Bitcoin down? I think I answered that question. So, I mean, if they're heavily shorting it and they can't keep Bitcoin down, you know, and Bitcoin is just going up, they're going to add to that short position. They're not going to close their short. You know, because these people, I mean, money's really no object to them. People that are trading on the futures market, money's not an object. I mean, they're billionaires. You know, they're not going all in. So they'll keep adding to that position, and then they'll get their buddy, you know, who hasn't gotten into that position, who's a billionaire, say, hey, you know what? Add to that position. You know, it's gone up so high. You know, you're probably going to make more money than I'm going to make. So yeah, they'll just, you know, keep pouncing on it, unfortunately. But that's just my opinion. That's kind of what, you know, my speculation of what I can see happening. But yeah, the futures market can be rigged. It can be rigged. And we thought the cryptocurrency market was heavily manipulated. Man, the futures market is even worse. It's even worse because now you're playing with billionaires. You know, you're playing with billionaires. And I've given the analogy of orca whales. Orca whales will eat anything up, unfortunately. Golden nugget. Yeah, like I said, I'll have to research GRX. And I don't think I've gotten to the bottom of the comments yet to see if it is a high yield investment plan. If it is, I won't even waste my time on it. Honestly, it's not the type of stuff that I get into. VTC we'll take a look at once I get through some of these comments. Let's see, Andreas, you think XRP? Yeah, and I think I've said that many times. But let me read your comment though. XRP, there's a lot of people that still think XRP and Ripple are related, and that Ripple news influences a lot of XRP. I think that's why there's a lot of support. Yes, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of newbies that are coming onto this market, seeing Ripple, XRP. Oh, I'm investing in XRP. But yeah, right now, it's not there. There is, Yes, XRP is owned by Ripple, but it's not utilized for anything. It's utilized for speculation trading, and that's it. And when people are buying XRP thinking they're investing in Ripple or that banks are going to start utilizing XRP, that's really what sent Ripple or XRP up to 44 cents, a while back. I mean, it skyrocketed. I mean, it was like, 200th or 2000th of a penny. It was nothing. And I was looking at it back then. I was like, and I didn't know what, really XRP was at that time until I actually did a little bit of research. I just thought it was Ripple. And I'm like, oh, this is great. They're, going to be involved with banks. I'm like, I should buy it. It's dirt cheap. And I probably should have bought it because then, it went up. I don't know what. I'm going to make up the numbers here. 300, 1,000%. Something to that extent, going from 0.0001 cents to 42, 44 cents. It's huge. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of people coming on thinking that they're actually buying Ripple, but they're not buying Ripple. XRP token is not used by banks at all. Now, if it starts getting used by banks, that's great. That is great. It'll do great things for XRP. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Ripple will do great things, but the XRP token will not. Stefan, let's see. I didn't really cover Monero too much, but let's see. I think I missed a request BTC price line analysis on XMR. It goes 2x BTC price fast and regularly. I haven't really covered, Monero too much. I don't even think I looked at the chart today. But yeah, I could be completely wrong with what I said, that it needs to go 100% in order to get up to, to overtake, what was it, Dash. Yes, I completely agree with you. It is one of the only coins that's truly private. That is truly private. Monero is one that they have not been able to crack at all. They cracked Dash to an extent. They cracked Zcash. But yes, Monero is one of the only ones that they have not been able to crack yet. Yet. That's always the magic word. But I mean, I remember back in, I think January, February. I mean, you can go back and watch the videos. I mean, I did a, kind of a review on Zcash, did a review on Monero and Dash. And I mean, back then they were dirt cheap. And Dash was like 16 bucks. Monero might have been $7. But yeah, I should have put money in them, considering I did a review on those three cryptocurrencies, and I didn't put any money in any of them. But I mean, I'm a trader, so because I came from the traditional financial market where it was, lock in those profits when those profits happen, because really in the financial market, those profits don't stay long. But the cryptocurrency market, it's different. It's completely different. And I completely had to tweak my mentality to not think the way I was thinking when I was trading the traditional financial market. And, with some of these cryptocurrencies, you really got to hodl them, hold on to them, because they just keep going up and up and up. But also learn to kind of trim your position and lock in those profits and wait for a dip and get back into it. Miraz, welcome. Let's see. Let's go back to BTC, depending on what exchange you're looking at. Depending on what time frame too. I mean, I'm looking at the 1 hour. It already broke through the rising wedge. That rising wedge would have been. Let me plot it out real quick. I'm going to plot it out from where it really took a crazy dump. So here's our upward trend line. There's basically, our resistance right up here. A flag wedge. Did it get wedged in there? Broke out above it, came back down, retested it, and then had the breakout there. So it all depends on what time frame that you're actually looking at that, because every time frame is going to have a different chart pattern. But yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a bull flag. It definitely is a bull flag. Well, it had a bull flag before really having a nice breakout to almost 13,000, a little under 13,000. So we'll see exactly, how this is going to maintain a nice move up. And let me go ahead and enlarge this actually, or extend our upward trend line. And I probably need to look at a 30-minute chart. So we'll see exactly how she reacts to this upward trend. If she's going to maintain it and stay above it. I mean, she can break down and get to it, but as long as she stays above that trend line, then it's healthy. It's not a means, if you're day trading this, to kind of say, you know what, it's time for me to get out, because it's maintaining an upward trend. It's just kind of retesting that trend line. Now, if it breaks down below it and maintains that break below it and starts breaking other key areas of support, then, you're in somewhat of a trouble, and we could have a short-term bearish price action move. But yeah, I'll keep this chart up and we'll keep an eye on it as I'm reading through some of the comments. And then we'll take a look at VTC for Verizon. Golden Nugget, you probably just joined. But yeah, I did explain it in the beginning of the video as to my thinking, my logics behind why I think it'll bring it down to its knees. And futures trading, you can short it. And that's really what happens in the futures market. A lot more shorting happens than taking a long position. But yeah, you'll have to go back to the bottom, to the beginning of the video and watch it. Are we going to 20K? Oof. If CME and Cboe weren't involved, I would say yes, definitely. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, anything is up in the air. I mean, anything's up in the air. It all depends too, how these institutional investors are willing to play this. That's the biggest thing. How are these, orca whales that are in the traditional financial market, trading on futures, how are they going to play this? Are they going to take a long futures position, or are they going to take a short futures position? If they take a long futures position, of course, it's just going to keep rising up. But if they take a short futures position, then it's going to bring the price down. So GRX is like BitConnect, high yield investment. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, Patrick. But yeah, some of them do provide some great returns, but it's just can it come crumbling down? I would like to see it traded maybe more on some solid exchanges before I would probably invest any money into it. Because I hate looking at it, but let's just really quick, let's take a look at BitConnect and see what exchanges it's on. I don't think it's on any exchanges really, or actually it is now. Okay, Lifecoin hit BTC, Trace Satoshi, Nova Exchange. So they're on a lot more exchanges currently now. But look at the volume. 95% is on the BCC exchange. 1 million is not too bad. Is on Lifecoin. But yeah, I would want to see, really any cryptocurrency on a bigger exchange. SE, welcome, buddy. 40 to 50%. Yeah, you could be right, buddy. Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why that's why I made the title where Cboe and CME futures, will bring it down to its knees. Yeah, I don't think it's could. They definitely can, but I think they will bring it down. And I don't, when I say bring it down to its knees, I don't mean, just basically completely kill it, but it's going to give up huge, percentage of its gains already. And, a 50% decline, it's definitely attainable. And that's a huge decline. I mean, we've seen, a $3,000, correction, $2,800 correction on BTC. I think we're going to start seeing bigger corrections. And I think, to be honest with you, it's going to suppress the price. Once we have a big correction, I think, BTC is going to find its stability. It's going to really discover its price. There will be a price discovery. When CME is really up and running and fully involved, and Cboe as well too. Just futures trading in general for BTC. Once it's really up and running, then you know what, BTC will find its price discovery, and we'll have a more stable price action move with BTC instead of seeing these crazy, 50%, 100% gainers within a very short period of time. Keebs, what up, buddy? What up? It's going well, man. Hope you're doing well. Crypto Cutter, it's always a pleasure to have you, bud. What happened to your wrench? I don't know. What happened to your wrench? I don't take wrenches away if I give it to you. But yeah, you definitely deserve it, Keebs. You definitely deserve it. This is going to be full of mods going forward, which is good because you guys are the repeat viewers that keep coming on and are always here. I got to make sure not to block you accidentally. Verge. Where's Verge? I know I had it on here somewhere. No, not Verge. I'm sorry. Vertcoin. VTC. Oh, man, this is a nice run up from last time I plotted it out. Nice run up. And it looks like, you know what? So I always talk about, prior resistance, forming as a current support. And I forget when I looked at this. It's been a while. But that prior, high, well, not the high, because I always try to look at just depending on what time frame I'm looking at. I try to look at a good price point instead of looking at the actual top. And the top on this was $6.59. $6.19 actually is when I really started covering this thing. Or I'm sorry, it was actually up here. It was right around 660. So I'll have to figure out what video it was that I covered this. It wasn't that long ago. I'm going to say probably a week and a half ago that I covered VTC. And that $6.19 was the area where I kind of saw it coming down to. And it basically held that. I think I got to look at 30-minute chart on this. We were actually looking at the 1-minute chart on this, I think, from what I remember. And it held that $6.20. And we were actually waiting for that 6.20 to hit. And it didn't hit while I was on the live stream, but it did hit after I got off the live stream. And it was because, and this was for short term. It wasn't for long term, short term. And that was because of these circles that I had here indicating that, the probabilities of it retesting this area for short term price action move are very likely. Now, it could easily crash through it. But I said, that 620 should have a nice support on that 620. And I think I was looking at it even a smaller time frame. And man, it held that 620. So where are we at? Let me zoom in. I think that was the day that I actually muted the microphone for like 3 minutes. Give me 1 second. I got to do something on my other screen real quick. So, okay. So when we were looking at this, right around $6.60, that's where she was. Maybe 665. And I basically said, you know what? 619, 620 should hold. The probabilities of it holding prior resistance, which are the two first circles here in the red, it had a nice confirmed breakout above that 620. And then it did retest that 620, 619 three times. I said, so, going forward for short-term price action, if she does decide to come back down and retest a level, the first level of support, that 619 is going to be an area that she's going to retest. And she got very close to it, I think within, let's see what she retested. She retested $6.20, 620 and a half, basically $6.20 and a half cents. She retested that. Let's see how many other times she retested that level. She crashed through it, but that's okay. If she crashes through it, she's going to come right back up. So let's go ahead and start plotting this out. So tested the 620, broke through that 620, but came right back up, which is good. Closing price of that candlestick that crashed through that 620 was above that 620. The closing price was 621. That's very bullish for me. And then the next candlestick opened up above the 621, very bullish. It didn't open below that 621 and come back down to retest a different area of support. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to count that, even though, it could have retested it, but it stayed above it. Did it retest it again? I don't think it did. It did not. So it's going to have other areas of support going forward, but that area of support is going to be good if she decides that she wants to come down and she wants to correct. But man, this thing ran up nicely from 620 all the way to 1070. Man, I should have got in this. But all right, so let's go ahead and take a look at a couple areas of support for this thing. And usually, I got to stare, if I'm going to plot out support and resistance, I need to stare at the chart for an extended period of time. But let's see if I can do this real quick. And I usually just try to see, where has a battle between the bears and the bulls taken place? What key areas has it bounced up from numerous times? And those are the areas that I would plot out. But yeah, this is it's tough to kind of plot this out on the go. You really got to look at this for an extended period of time. And the 5-minute chart is really not doing me justice. So let's take a look at the 45 minutes. All right, so $7.50, let's just say. Right around 750, 755-ish. Looks to be a very good area of support. Considering, yeah, she came down, but the closing price of the candlesticks, it's not below that 750-ish. Could be below 750 just a little bit. That closing price was below 750. This closing price was above 750, 767. And then everything else has been above that 750. And then had a little bit of a resistance right in this area here. We're trying to discover the price action, the battle between the bears and the bulls. Who's going to really take control? And the bulls took control of that, brought it up, but then kind of brought it back down. So don't look at the wick. But that 750, it could be 740 as well too. It's not always going to be 100%. That seems to be a somewhat good area of support for it if she was a downtrend. So good area of support holding up there. Good area of support holding up there. Area of resistance happened here, but gave us a clear confirmation of a breakout. And then let's see, when she came back down, she hasn't really retested 750 at all. So another support line is going to be right around the $8.40. $8.40. So don't look at the wicks, look at the closing price, look to see what happened in the past. As long as you can kind of determine what happened in the past, the probabilities are going to be a little higher of what's going to happen in the future to an extent, not always 100%, but the probabilities are there. So areas of, let me do something a little different here. So a nice little area of resistance that happened at that level of $7.60. $7 and let's see, between 60 cents and, I'm sorry, not 60 cents, $7.50. So 750 was an area of resistance. 750 then came back down, retested that level of $7.50. 850 resistance up here. 750 became support, prior resistance, current support, and then had a nice little breakout above, well, had somewhat of a hard time breaking out above the 850. And that was right in this range here. Oops. So I had a hard time breaking out above that 750, prior resistance, current support, prior resistance is still prior resistance until she gives you a clear confirmation of a breakout. Now, she could have easily just gone sideways and consolidated, and then maybe broke back down to retest that 750, but she didn't. She gave you a nice confirmation of a breakout where every candlestick, after hitting above that 750, I'm sorry, 850, not 750, hitting above 850, maintain that level until it got up to $9 and almost $10 basically. But it didn't close at $10. It actually closed at $9.85. So $9.85. Is going to be an area where I would be looking to take profit if it gets up to that area, especially if we have a nice dip on this to 750. I wouldn't wait for $10 because there's a possibility it might not hit $10. I would start trimming my position just a little bit early, just so I know that I have an exit and that I'm not waiting for $10 and everybody else and their mother is lining up at $10 to try to get out. So even though, yes, she peaked above that, and yeah, I mean, sometimes, you're going to end up leaving profit on the table. And honestly, you can't kick yourself over that. It's okay to leave a little bit of profit on the table. You're not being greedy because greed is really what's going to take away your profit. But yeah, there's easily that this thing would not have broken out above 10 and, at 9.99 broke back down. It just happened to have a nice surge, probably in volume, for it to get up to $10.78. But that was just way too fast, way too high, and then came right back down and almost retested that $7.50. So she got basically to the mid-range of this kind of almost suppression zone. You can call this a suppression zone. Basically mid-range of that suppression zone there. So this is the purple line or the blue line is going to be the bottom end of that suppression zone. And then you got the top end of that suppression zone. So she basically retested, the mid-range of the prior suppression zone. And she could have easily retested the 750 again. But they're just, people were buying it considering it was just at $11 or $10 and what was this price? Considering it was just at $10, this thing's not cooperating with me. $10.73. So people were buying it, and that's why it didn't really get to that 750 level. As we can see with that candlestick, they drove it down, but then the buyers brought it back up and actually closed that candlestick to the green side. So if this thing was to come back down and she breaks through the first area of support, which is $8.40, $8.43, then, you know, the probabilities of it holding up 750 are greater than holding up $8.40. So hopefully that was helpful for whoever asked me to take a look at that. Wow, 12,388 on GDAX. Let's see what CoinMarketCap has BTC at. 12,782. This is crazy. This is crazy. We could easily get to that 13,400. Wait, let me see what you guys are saying. Darkness, welcome, buddy. Great to see you on the chat. Got to get up and get that fiat. I thought you were mining, bud. I thought that was your job. I thought you were mining. And you and I will need to talk about that too one of these days. You got my number, so give me a call. Or shoot me a text message, and I'll let you know if I have the time to talk. Woo. Let's see. You're using 20x. I know you're not using 20x. You're a lot smarter than that. But that's a good joke, though. But I mean, can it get to 20,000 before CME, before the 10th? Woo! I mean, that's an $8,000 increase. You know, from its current level, $7,300 increase. That's huge. I mean, there would have to be some serious knobs coming on to this and buying it and buying it and buying it. Or these Wall Street whales are buying it up as well too, you know, so that they could short it on the way down, you know, through CME futures. So I wouldn't be surprised, and these are only pure speculation. It's basically just a conspiracy theory, you know, that the price of Bitcoin, you know, reason why it's going up could be, you know, aside from, you know, retail traders and knobs coming on and buying it, could be that, you know, institutional investors and, you know, and traditional financial market whales are coming on to this cryptocurrency market to bring the price up so that when CME and Cboe futures trading basically opens up, then they have a higher price that they can short it at. They'll cover that long position and they'll open up. Or actually, what I'm speculating is that they're already in this market to an extent now. When CME and Cboe opens up, then they're going to hedge against that long position by shorting it on the futures market. That's my speculation. That's kind of my theory, my little conspiracy theory. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're doing. I mean, you know, manipulation happens. And I mean, I always try to think outside the box that, you know, seeing a 50% increase from $8,000, you know, within a matter of, I don't know, a week off the top of my head, a week and a half, something to that extent. I mean, it wasn't long ago that it fell to $8,600, you know, $8,500. It wasn't that long ago at all. It might seem a long time ago considering the price just went up so much. But yeah, what's to say that they didn't pile in and start buying to get the price to go up, waiting for the price to actually be at a very high level so that when they hedge against their long position, they're going to hedge even a larger futures position, short position on the futures market to really bring BTC down to its knees and bring it down to a healthy level where it'll have a good price discovery. But yeah, that's huge. That is huge. You need 1.68 and all you had was 1.32. I don't know what that's in regard to. Yeah, Patrick, man, I agree with you, buddy. I agree with that logic. Where LTC is a safe bet. It really is a safe bet. What is LTC doing now? $100. That's pretty healthy for it. That is a healthy, solid number. And I mean, Patrick, and some of you guys might have been, on this live stream a long time ago where I gave a price prediction of LTC of $100. But I also did say that F would go to 500. And then when she got to 400, I was like, all right, let's scrap that idea of giving an end of the year prediction for F at $500. I was like, end of the year prediction is going to be 1,000 for F. But I did say LTC end of the year prediction was $100. And this is when I think LTC was like 35, $40 maybe. And it's maintaining that $100. That's a nice thing about LTC that I like, that, she hasn't really come back down and crashed and retested, $70. She is holding that $100. So that's pretty impressive. That is impressive for it. And I think I covered this the other day on last week's live stream. But yeah, here's that $70 that I would, think that BTC, not BTC, I would think that LTC would retest. But for it to hold this $100 and stay above that prior resistance, or that prior high really back in August 31st of $98.28. Let's get in a little granular on this. It's impressive. I like that stability. I really like that stability. And I think last time I covered this, this was the resistance. I'm sorry, the support that it had to hold up at $98, which was the prior peak that we had in August. It held it there, and then we need another circle here. So this is from last week when I covered it, and it basically held it here. Yes, it came down below it a little bit to $95, but it came right back up. So that $98 is a pretty healthy level for it to maintain. I like that level. Not could it retest that, 95 cents again? I'm sorry, 95 cents. I wish. $95. Yeah, it could retest it. But, the longer that this goes and it just maintains close to that 100 and just hugs that 100, 98, 99, 100, that's pretty solid. Yeah, I was crypto cutter. I was actually last night, because usually late at night is when I can kind of do my research and look at things. During the daytime, it's kind of tough with 3 kids. So I happened to be up kind of late, and I was looking at a couple of miners, and I was like, I got the space for it. I was like, I should start mining. So Scott, if you're listening, we're going to start mining, buddy. But yeah, I'll talk to you about that. But yeah, I was looking at a couple of the miners that were out there, the AntShare S9 and the AntShare S7, a little pricey. They're sold out. But I figure later on, if I can get my hands on one, I would try to get my hands on 1 or 2 possibly, and just use the profits that I've taken from cryptocurrency and kind of reinvest it into something that has a passive income. As long as I'm not going to be paying out the wazoo in electricity. That's the only thing. As long as the profits are there and BTC maintains a healthy price, then yes, it's worth it. But if BTC doesn't hold a healthy price, then I'm going to be spending more money in electricity cost than anything else, unless BTC decides to moon again and have a nice little price action discovery. F, oh man, F has been downtrending a little bit. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, 426. I mean, it was just at 466 last night when I was looking at it. People are just, man, I don't know about F. I really don't. It didn't hold that 450 that I had plotted out. 453, 450 was a level, that I was thinking that it would hold, and for it to have a bullish price action move going, for the future, it needs to maintain that level. It hasn't maintained it yet. So next level is 620. And I've talked about that 620 way in the past, where that was the previous high. 420 was a previous high. And then 395 was the second peak that we had. So we had 420 as a first peak a long time ago, and then crashed to $130. And then 395 was the second peak that we had, and it came down to, I think, like $195. So let's go ahead and take a look at the overall chart on this. There's that 420. There's that 395 that, then it kind of broke down. So that's why I was expecting this thing to kind of hold. I mean, for it to really be, bullish, it needed to hold 450. It didn't hold 450. It needs to hold 420 It's probably not going to hold 420. 400, a psychological level, it needs to hold. If it doesn't, then, we're going to have a bearish price action move. That's not going to be bullish at all. And more than likely, it'll probably retest at 350 if it cannot hold 400 bucks. So we'll have to see exactly, how this thing plays out. But yeah, 350 can definitely be in sight if and only if 400 bucks does not hold. And that could be a little scary if 400 bucks doesn't hold. So 419, 420 can easily crash. It could do it today, maybe tomorrow. But that 420, I'm sorry, that 400 bucks, it's a key psychological level it has to maintain. I don't know. We'll see. I still have ETH, and we'll see what happens. Stefan, let's see. You're going to say knobs, aka newbies, aka noobs, not knobs. But great stream yet again. Not a problem, man. Anytime. I mean, I enjoy doing this. So, there are some times where I can't do a live stream, and it's happened in the past. But I try to stay very consistent to anybody that's new. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, usually 10 a.m. Eastern time zone, 10:15 Eastern time zone is kind of when I get on the live stream. But market cap is actually looking pretty good. And I'm going to answer a couple questions, and then I'm going to cover something else real quick that I kind of forgot to cover on a position that I have that I'm up probably, I don't know, I think this morning when I checked, I was up like 460%, which I don't really plan on selling it, but I'll briefly talk about it. What's going on with Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold downhill since last week? Bitcoin is becoming more profitable, for miners. It all really depends on the miners and of course the traders too, because traders kind of will give it some sort of price discovery, but hashing power, and that's why the miners have a lot of insider information. They have a lot of insider information. If they know that they're going to be switching their hashing power from Bitcoin to Bitcoin, Cash, they're going to take a short position. They're going to trade the futures and take a short position to kind of hedge against the Bitcoins that they've already mined. So they have a lot of insider information, and switching hash power from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Gold could have some adverse reaction to the price action move. Okay. Yeah, and I should have probably picked up on that. But yeah, the six, I usually refer to them as the 68 and the 32. But yeah, I should have probably picked up on that, Crypto Cutter. Stefan, I just kind of looked at ETC. I'm sorry, F. I'm probably not going to have time to look at ETC, but if you're on here on the next live stream, I will gladly look at it. I mean, we can just kind of look at the chart right now and see exactly what it's doing, but I won't be able to cover it extensively. GPU mine, Future Star, shitcoins, you're doing okay with it. I don't know what the Future Star is, if that's a currency. Oh, so you mine in Zen? Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. That is good to know. But yeah, that's something, I think I'm going to end up setting up. And I should probably already done it for the winter time. But yeah, my electricity cost is not too much. 6 cents is what I pay. And then I can probably shop around and maybe get it down to 5.5, 5 cents, possibly. Logan's Run. What is up, buddy? What is up? It's great to see you, man. It is great to see you. It's a bold statement. It's a bold statement. It definitely is. But I'm doing well, man. I hope you're doing well, buddy. But yeah, for anybody, that's new here, Logan's Run was like one of the first persons I started really conversing with when I started the YouTube channel. And He's kind of been MIA for a little bit, but yeah, it's great to see you. Great to see you on the live chat and have you join this live stream, Logan. But yeah, and I don't know if you heard what I was saying in the beginning of the video. It's just my speculation. Possibly, what might happen with Cboe, the Chicago Board of Exchange and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME, and how orca whales, which are basically, the billionaires that are in the traditional financial market, how they can really manipulate anything and everything by trading futures. And that's a scary part. So yes, it's going to have mass adoption in the sense of getting the word out, the BTC name, but it could have a very bad adverse reaction to the sense of the price action move, because really they make more money off shorting than they do off going long. And yeah, I'm not saying that they're not going to go long, but they'll be flip-flopping. They'll be flip-flopping, from going short, then to going long, then to going short again. But now in the long run though, I mean, we all know BTC is going to be very, very healthy, but it's going to be stable. It's going to give it a more of a price discovery and not seeing these crazy, 50%, 100% swings to the upside. It's going to have stability. That's what really the futures market is going to do for it, because they can stabilize the price at a specific point because they're going to go long. And then if it starts to run up too high, they'll short it to get it to go down. Yeah. And, Stefan, I've talked about ETH in the past. And the reason why I didn't really like ETH is, it's got way too many shady and scammy ICOs that are being created on this platform. And anytime it has a great price action move to the upside, these scammy and shady ICOs are just dumping. They're dumping their ETH. If they really believed in the project, they would maintain that ETH and hold on to it. Yeah, to sell a little bit is okay. They got bills to pay. They got to maintain a building. They got to, pay employees. But some of these exchanges, some of these ICOs are just dumping all the ETH that they're getting from these ICOs, and that's kind of what has really suppressed ETH's price. And we haven't really seen that $1,000 end of the year prediction that I gave it. Ark, welcome, buddy. Good to see you on here. Yep, that's exactly, yeah. I think you beat me to that comment. I didn't even see that comment. But yeah, ICOs dump, thousands, hundreds of thousands of ETH. That's a problem. But yeah, a lot of the projects, though, a lot of the solid projects, they do maintain the ETH. They're not dumping it for fiat right away. Yeah, no shorting Bitcoin over the weekend. But yeah, thanks for that comment, Logan. Thanks for that comment. I'm glad. You were one of the original, from way back in the day that's joined, and I'm glad you were able to take away something from it. But yeah, CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, it's where basically futures contracts are traded, and they don't need to put up much when you're trading futures. It's just like trading options. If I was to trade options, I would basically buy an option for pennies on the dollar. I'll give you one example. So let's just say, and I'm making this up, like I want to buy Apple, and I think Apple's going to go up in price, but I don't have a shitload of money to buy Apple at $200 a share, and somebody's selling a contract for $1. They're selling, a 6-month contract for $1. And I think, Apple's going to go up. I'm going to buy that contract and the price is $200 right now. And I think that, Apple's going to go up to $600 in 6 months. I'm going to buy that contract, one contract for $1, or maybe, 10 contracts for $10, whatever the price per contract is. So the way it works then is, I buy that contract. So I'm buying the option to buy it later on, 6 months down the road, at the price that we agreed on. And the price that we agreed on was $200 today. But I think in 6 months, it's going to go up to $600. But today it's worth $200, and somebody's selling me the option to buy it, at $200 6 months down the road, but I'm paying $1 for one contract. So I'll give him the $1 for one contract, which is basically one share. And let's say Apple decides to tank and goes down to $50. 6 months down the road, I decide, you know what? I'm not going to pay $200 for it. It's worth 50 bucks now. So I'm going to allow that contract to expire. But that person will keep the dollar. But let's say in 6 months, the price goes up higher. Then I have the option to buy it at 200 bucks. And the person that sold me that contract has to sell it to me at 200 bucks, even though the price of Apple is 600 bucks now. So futures trading is almost like options trading. You don't have to leverage much. So you're kind of, the profits could be there if the option works out. So you can take an option on a long position, or you can take an option trade on a short position. Futures trading is almost similar to that. Let's see, Logan, disagree, and that's perfectly fine, dude. I mean, we could all, agree to disagree, and I value your opinion. So Logan is saying he disagrees with me. Too many price predictions higher into next year, even with CME. And the problem with CME and Cboe right now is, and the Orca whales is that they want the price to go up, because the higher that the price goes up, the better short position that they can take, the better short futures position contract that they can buy at a higher price and really bring the price down. So yeah, I mean, we could get a nice run up based on CME. And I don't think a lot of people know how futures contract work, for the long side or the short side. So they can take a long position futures contract, just like I explained with the options, or take a short position. And they're not going to take a short position when it's in a bear market. I'm sorry, when it's in a bull market. But when it's in a bear market, they're going to pile in and really drive the price down. Only time will tell. But I definitely, man, Logan, you know me, I value everybody's opinion. But only time will tell what's exactly going to happen. I could be completely wrong. That's why I said earlier, it's a bold statement. It's a bold statement that I'm making. And please do not trade based on what I said. Do not, because I could be 100% wrong, completely wrong. Yes, I did see the Winklevox. They were basically first BTC billionaires, but they put up, I don't know, what was it, like, $15 million back in the day. They bought $15 million worth of BTC. But yeah, I don't think they're happy now, to be honest with you, considering their the Winklevox, their index, I think it was ticker symbol coin, was denied. And now, basically CME and Cboe is going to allow futures trading on Bitcoin, and NASDAQ is going to allow futures trading on Bitcoin. I think they got shafted. They really got shafted with that. Because really, if their index, was tradable, more than likely people are going to take a long position. But with futures, you can take a short position. And I think, the banks, the Federal Reserve, they want futures trading to happen on Bitcoin. They want that volatility. And if that volatility is even worse than the volatility that we're having now, that's going to scare a lot of people off from kind of getting involved in this cryptocurrency market. And, the bank's ultimate goal is to not have money leave the bank and go to cryptocurrency. These institutions, these big banks, they don't want money to flow out of their account. The financial institutions, the stock market, they don't want money to flow out of the market and go into cryptocurrency. So it's a way for them to suppress Bitcoin. And it's just, my little conspiracy theory. So I don't know if anybody else is talking about it, but I figured, why not talk about it? What are we at? 1242 right now? 1242 on GDAX. I'm sorry, 1282 on GDAX. Bitfinex 1240, 12,400 bucks. Yes, yeah, they don't have Bitcoins, Stefan. It's IOUs. IOUs. They don't really hold the asset. And you're right, they are dollar billionaires. And there's a lot of them. That's a problem. There's a lot of them that are dollar billionaires. And there's a lot of Bitcoin billionaires. And I've kind of gave it the analogy of, there's a lot of Bitcoin whales. There are a lot of Bitcoin whales, but there are a lot more orca whales that are billionaires in the traditional financial market. And orca whales can eat up, regular whales, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it's right now it's paper money. It's internet money. It's fancy money. I don't know what you want to call Bitcoin. Until you actually have, fiat. I don't know. It's just my opinion. Like I said, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but this is going to be a big battle that's going to happen. It doesn't really. I don't think it really matters whether you're a dollar billionaire or you're a Bitcoin billionaire. These guys can control the market, and a lot of manipulation happens. I mean, look at silver. Futures silver trading. They can short something heavily, and that's what I'm scared of. I want to see mass adoption. I want to see Bitcoin. I mean, I got to bet, $500,000 by the year. It's probably going to be higher. But, I made a bet with my buddy, by the year, in 10 years from now, 2028, Bitcoin, $500,000. I have a bet on the line, and I'm a little leery now with futures option trading, basically. Let me see what you guys are saying, and then I'm going to cover the one coin that I'm up. I haven't even looked at it today to see what it's up. John Money, welcome, buddy. South Korea plan to stay out of trading futures while TFE in Tokyo plans to launch futures. Yes, I did see that. Yeah, so I mean, it's going to bring price stability to BTC. And that's a very good comment there. It's going to bring price stability, whereas I mean, we're up almost 13x. Almost 13x from January. Especially when the Winklevox ETF was denied. It dropped to $880. And that was like mid-January, I think, from what I remember. So it's up way over 13x. Potato versus potato. All right, I think I got to majority of the comments. If I missed any, I do apologize. Let's see. McAfee has changed his price prediction from 500,000 in the next 3 years to 1 million in the next 3 years. Yeah, I don't know about in the next 3 years. I really don't know about that. And I would like to see if he's actually gonna take that bet and do what he said he's gonna do on national television. I don't think he is. But 3 years, I don't know. 10 years, it could. We just have to see exactly how this futures trading is going to really take hold, and how manipulated is BTC going to be. Now we already know cryptocurrency is manipulated as a whole, by Bitcoin whales. Now we just have other people, dollar whales, as Logan said it. And I do like that word, Logan. Dollar whales, dollar billionaires. How they're going to handle this market, and how much of the manipulation is going to be coming from them, how much of the manipulation is going to be coming from the Bitcoin billionaires, and how much of the manipulation is going to be coming from miners. Let's definitely think about the miners as well too, because they will be playing this futures market. They will be hedging their BTC that they have, that they're mining for. Hodl. All right, so the one that I got in, and I got in a while back. And you guys know I'm a big fan of platforms, trading platforms. I mean, I'm a trader. That's kind of what I do. So I bought into Cobb because I kind of believed in what they were working on, zero fee trading. So I kind of bought into their ICO because I want to see a trading platform with zero fees. I want to minimize what it is that I want to minimize my, I'm sorry, I want to maximize my capital, and I don't want to be paying commission. And I want to be able to put in a market order and not have to worry about paying a commission, paying $30 in commission. I pay $30 in commission on Coinbase to market buy, to market sell. I had to do that when I was trading on margin. They don't allow on trading on margin, especially on GDAX. They didn't allow you to do a limit sell order. They allowed you to do a limit buy order, but not a limit sell order. You had to basically satisfy that margin amount first on a market sell order, and then the rest you could actually do a limit order. So I think when I was on margin, I was purchasing like 300 on margin, and 150 of it I had to do a market sell, pay $30, $35 in commission. I hated it. So when Cboe came out, and my honest opinion, Cboe might have a little bit of an issue, and the issue that they might run it into later on is some sort of an infringement with Robinhood. So Robinhood, you guys know that I came from the traditional financial market. Robinhood is a zero fee trading platform. And then they're coming out with Cboe. So you guys can Google Robinhood, zero fees to be able to trade the traditional financial market. They don't have a lot of the stocks that you can trade on there. But for the average person that's just kind of getting started and they don't want to get hit with fees, it's kind of Robinhood is where they go to. It's not a great trading platform per se for an experienced trader, but it's a way for new traders to kind of get into the market and be able to set a buy order and kind of let it sit there, and they're not actively trading. So they don't actually have like a very good active experienced trading platform, but they do allow you to trade for free. Cboe, I think they kind of mimic them doing the exact same thing. And we can kind of look at Robinhood real quick, but everything is almost the same. I think, they kind of stole the idea from Robinhood. The color scheme, the website is not the same, but the color scheme, everything is kind of mimicking what Robinhood or what Robinhood does. Cboe, almost the same thing. So, but I don't want to pay any commission at all to be able to trade, cryptocurrencies. And so I bought into the ICO at 5 cents, and it's up to 23 cents now, 23 and a half cents. So almost 24 cents that is up. So it's up almost 480%. So, I do plan on holding this. And I told somebody, if this kind of turns out to be exactly like Binance, and Binance went up to $2, that's going to be a very sizable profit there. But, I will take profits along the way on this, especially, I'm not going to trade it on Ether Delta. No way. That exchange sucks. Or Mercantox or Decentrix. I'm not going to trade on those platforms at all. Let's look at Decentrix. $427, volume of 173. I would never, ever be able to get out. It would probably take me a year to sell what I have on that platform. The volume is nothing at all. The volume on Mercantox is nothing. The only place that there is volume is Ether Delta, and that's it. And I really hate Ether Delta. So I will not be selling on that platform, but I will be selling on Cboe's platform when they open up on December 18th. I think they open up. So I can see, having a nice little pump on this, maybe hitting a 10x type of return, getting up to 50 cents. And I would be looking to lock in some profits, probably not sell everything, but to lock in some of the profits. But this is up nicely. And I don't know. Only time will tell if people really gravitate towards Cboe and start really utilizing their platform. But anybody that's looking to avoid, having to pay fees, I'll be honest with you guys, it's not a advanced platform right now. It's not. I've tested out their beta. Their beta sucks. Unfortunately, I hate to say it. It's not that great of a platform. It's mediocre. It's probably on the lower end currently right now, but maybe as time goes on and they start to incorporate, better features and a better charting system, maybe trading view, then it'll get better and better and better. But right now it's almost like I don't know, it's on the bottom end of any exchange that I would personally use. But I like the fact that, they're not going to be charging me a fee. And I like the fact that I could lend out my COP coins, and gain interest off of it to anybody that's looking to basically trade on margin. I'm not looking to trade on margin. I will not be trading on margin. I don't recommend anybody to just trade on margin at all, because if these flash crashes happen, you will be instantly liquidated, and they are happening more frequently now in this cryptocurrency market. So not going to be utilizing their margin, but I'll be lending it out and earning, I guess, COP tokens or COP coins in return for it. But let's see what you guys are saying. Excuse me. The big short, you know what? That's what the futures market is. It's basically going to be the big short. It is. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Some people are going to agree with me. Some people are not going to agree with me. And there's nothing wrong with disagreeing. Nothing wrong at all. I mean, we all have our own opinions. And whoever disagrees with me can be completely right. They could be completely right. But let me see what you guys are saying before I got to end this live stream. Logan, you did. Yes, you did. And no, I did not listen. They decided to buy something else that didn't do too well. But yeah, he's got a little bit of a BTC now. Not much. But yeah, back in January, when I really started the live stream. Yeah, and that was kind of the goal, was to buy one for each of the kids, and kind of set it and forget it into a hardware wallet. But no, I mean, I've made a lot of mistakes. I mean, I had 14,000 sand tokens at 25 cents. I mean, I was shaken out of my position and I sold it for a profit, and then I bought back again when they didn't really bar me from trading it. I bought another 9,000 at an average price of, I think it was like 45 cents, 47 cents, and then it goes up to $3. I saw that one at a loss. But yeah, I mean, having F at like $23, $24, 430 F. But yeah, we've all made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes on my trades, not hodling, because like I said, I've come from that traditional financial market, where you don't really hodl anything unless you're hodling, the big boy stocks, and you're playing with the big boys and the big index. But yeah, what I was playing, yeah, you don't hodl those stocks at all. But yeah, so that's why I really have to tweak my mentality, to what this cryptocurrency really is, and learn to kind of hodl some of these coins. And that's why, I've been hodling Cobinhood. I could have easily sold Cobinhood at 100% profit on Ether Delta. Easily, I could have sold it. But I decided, to kind of change that mentality and be like, what, let me hold on to this, because this has the ability to possibly, and I could be wrong, but it possibly has the ability to get up to $1 and maybe give it a $261 million market cap. Maybe. I could be wrong. I mean, we could get to 35 cents and then this thing could tank back down to 10 cents. Who knows? Yes, dude. If I can get to this chat, it keeps going in and out. Kid FOMO Doge to BTC on a rally. Yeah, actually, yes. Yeah, so that was probably the best thing that, we could have done, or he could have asked me to do, to sell it. Because like I said, he got tired of asking. Well, I got tired of him asking me too. How's his Doge doing? And he got tired of me giving him the same answer every single time. And I'm like, dude, it's down. It is down. But yeah, converting it to BTC, he didn't lose much money in the sense of USD, but he could have made a lot more if he would have got into into BTC instead of Doge. But yeah, with the rocket, in BTC, if you were pairing it with USD, yeah, he didn't really lose much. Crypto Cutter, let's see, you're going to drop a ton on Kyber. I do like Kyber. And I think we talked about that before, where I liked it at that $1 and I didn't take advantage of it. But yeah, Robinhood in January, decentralized markets will be how we get the tax cops off our back in the near future. I don't think we'll ever get them off our back, honestly. I doubt we will, but that's a whole different conversation. It's a whole different conversation. But I like Kyber. I don't like Cobb as much because really Cobb is not decentralized. To my understanding, it's not decentralized yet. Now, if they do come out with another platform that's decentralized, that'd be great. John Money, I've never heard of NVO, P2P trading, person-to-person trading. That would be like local Bitcoin almost. Yeah, I haven't really researched any P2P. I don't even like local Bitcoin. Meeting up with somebody, with a couple $1,000s to buy Bitcoin. And there's been a lot of people that have been arrested, because, especially if you're selling BTC using local Bitcoin, if you're selling BTC for US dollar, you are literally running an unlicensed money service business. It is an unlicensed money service. You're required to register with Fin something, and you need to have the proper permit to run a money service business. And there have been a couple people. I mean, you guys can probably Google it, that are doing jail time right now. A year to 2 years jail time for selling Bitcoin for cash or local Bitcoin, because they're running an illegal money transfer service. That's what it is, illegal money transfer service. So be careful if you're selling, BTC on local Bitcoin. I don't think they're arresting buyers, but sellers, they're definitely arresting them. Logan, I like that comment, and yes or no. So Logan is saying Bitcoin is the only asset in the world's history that can't be confiscated by the government. You can leave the country and just remember your private keys to have access to your wealth. Very powerful. Yes and no. The government can confiscate, Bitcoin. They've confiscated Silk Road Bitcoin. They had $40 million worth of Bitcoin back in 2013, I'm going to say, and they auctioned them off right away. But they did confiscate his Bitcoins. I forget, it was like maybe 17,000, something to that extent. I forget exactly the amount of numbers they had, but they had $40 million worth of Bitcoin, and they auctioned them off. And if they would have held on to them, it could have been almost probably $800 million. So there's a lot of money that they lost from it. And I did talk to my friend about it, and she said, yeah, she's like, the DEA is not in a position to invest in Bitcoin, or neither is the FBI. When they do confiscate Bitcoins, they basically auction them off. And somebody did provide me a link. Let me see if I have that link. And basically, because we're talking about the biggest holder of Bitcoins. So before I get off, I'm going to share 2 links with you guys. Let's see if I can find it. Actually, here's one. This one I thought was cool. So I'll give you guys time to maybe click on it or save it. And this one basically is top 100 richest Bitcoin addresses. And I was kind of looking through them, and I kind of scrolled down to 2000. I think it was like 2012, 2011, and there were all these addresses with 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. I was like, that's got to be Satoshi. Those got to be his Bitcoins. He's keeping 10,000 in each of these addresses. But yeah, and I don't think they've been moved at all. And then the other one was, let's see. See if I can find it. I don't think I have it. But yeah, the other one was, somebody sent me a link saying, the federal government or the FBI is the biggest holder of Bitcoin. And it was a link to basically Silk Road's confiscation when they confiscated Silk Road's BTCs. And it even said, Silk Road confiscated. That was a kind of like the headline on when I was really tracking that address. And I thought I had it. And now I don't have that link anymore for some apparent reason. But anybody in the US, I mean, if you're out of the US, I don't think it really matters to you. But anybody in the US, I did find this article, whereas the US Senate is moving to criminalize non-disclosure of cryptocurrency ownership. So that's a little scary. That's a little scary. Let's see. Oh, he gave them the keys, did he? Okay, see, I didn't know that he gave them the keys. Yeah, if he gives them the keys, then yeah, that's true. That is true. Hey, Logan, man, thank you so much for joining, buddy. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. Nothing but the utmost respect for you, bud. It's been a long time. Keep in touch. Yeah, definitely more government overreach. Unfortunately, Mark, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot more of government overreach going forward. But yeah, if you think you can avoid taxes by not reporting it, yeah, you might get away with it for a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, but eventually it's going to come to haunt you. And the last statement I'll make, in regards to that is, in my honest opinion, really, you got to think outside the box. Coinbase didn't win. Coinbase did not win at all. The IRS is winning. And, people are thinking, oh, well, they're only requiring, anybody that made a transaction of 20,000 or more. Honestly, if you really think outside the box, it's only a way for them to get their foot in the door. Because if Coinbase releases only the people that have traded $20,000 worth of Bitcoins in that year or within a single transaction, I think it's within a single transaction. I haven't even really read the whole thing. That's only a way for the IRS to get more information out of Coinbase, because then they can say, all right, look, you provided us this information already of only the people that have traded $20,000 in a year, and 90% of these people have not filed taxes. Now we want everybody that's using your platform, we want you to provide us with a 1099. We want you to provide them with a 1099, because you are aiding and abetting a tax evader. I mean, that's a huge crime. That is a huge crime. I mean, let's just say, my buddy's a criminal and he comes to my house and I help him out for a couple of days and the cops find out and he flees. I'm going to be arrested for aiding and abetting a fugitive, right? Well, Coinbase, by not releasing that information to the IRS, technically are aiding and abetting tax evaders. That's a serious crime. And, for them to only require, of accounts that have transacted $20,000 or more, in BTC or any type of trades, it's only a way for them to get their foot in that door to say, all right, 90% of the people, information that you provided, have not filed taxes. They are tax evaders, and you are adding and abetting more tax evaders. It sucks. It really sucks. But that's really what it's going to come down to. So if you're not, if you don't plan on filing taxes, I mean, I can't tell you guys what to do. It's completely up to you what you decide to do, but just really think about it. In the long run, for it to come back and haunt you pretty bad, it's not worth it at all in the long run. Costs, dude, I looked at that exchange, because it's an exchange, right? And who mentioned it? Let's see. Oni, I think, mentioned it. Cos.io. And I was like, what is this? I'm like, this is an exchange like my 8-year-old would have made. I'm like, this exchange sucks. It's the worst exchange I've ever seen. Let me make sure it's the actual exchange I was looking at. Yeah, it is that exchange. The actual website looks good. But then I looked at the exchange and I was like, dude, it looks like my 8-year-old built a site. I'm like, this is horrible. So I don't know. We'll see. I haven't really done much research on cost, but Oni did mention cost to me a couple days ago, and I kind of briefly looked at it, and I was like, man, I'm like, I don't know if I would even use this platform. Not yet, at least, until things kind of get better. No, Stefan, I didn't find anything about Satoshi moving Bitcoin Cash. I didn't find anything at all. But yeah, it's just a crypto cutter. It's just a way for them to get information and to say, all right, these people have made 19,000, these people have made 18,000, and they haven't filed taxes whatsoever, you know, or just to say, you know what, these people made 20,000 or worth of trades, 21,000 worth of trade, over 20,000 worth of trades, and 90% of those people didn't file taxes. They're going to say, you know what, we want everybody that's using your platform, we want their information. We want you to provide us a 1099 of their profit loss, profit gains. And I'm really, exchanges are required in the US to do that. In the traditional financial market, every exchange is required to provide the IRS with a 1099. They're required to provide me with a 1099. And then the IRS kind of looks at my tax return with the 1099 that's provided to them from the exchange. And they say, yep, crypto trader basically filled out his taxes properly. He's got his profit gains, his profit loss, and he's paying taxes on his gains, or he's writing off his losses. That's going to be required. It is. And it's just, like I said, it's just, if you think outside the box, it's just a way for them to kind of get their foot in the door to say, all right, you got all these people, with over $20,000 worth of trades that they're making, and only 90% of them are filling out taxes. We want everybody's record. And if you don't give it to us, we're going to shut you down because you're aiding and abetting tax evaders. That's a serious crime. What do you think Coinbase is going to do? Do you think Coinbase really cares, or GDAX? Yeah, Coinbase, really. Do you think they care about us? They don't. Their customer service sucks. I've said it before. They're horrible. You think they're going to shut down their operation to protect their customers? Hell no. They can care less about us. They will throw us under the rug or under the bus in a matter of a heartbeat if they were threatened to be shut down. They will do it. And they will release our information, and if you don't file your taxes, it's going to come back and haunt you. So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I can't tell you guys what to do, but seriously think about taxes, implication of taxes, and if you don't want to pay them, I mean, don't pay them. But just know that there is a possibility that later on down the road that it could possibly come back and haunt you. Xkiller, it's easy, man. It's easy. I was actually able to go ahead and do it from the exchanges that I use. I went in and looked at my trades, and I basically saved the CVC file, CVC, CVS. What is it? Let me look at that file real quick. It's on my desktop somewhere. If I can find it. But yeah, you can go on any exchange that you're using, and either you can get the Excel, or you can get the CVC file and just save it. And I have them saved from basically all the exchanges, and it basically tells you that whatever you traded, the amount, the price, the fee, and then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm going to make it easy for myself, because I've done this in the past and it definitely works. As long as you have everything listed on that Excel spreadsheet, Basically, I'm just making up numbers here. I started out with $10,000, and at the end of the year, that $10,000 turned into $50,000. That's a profit of $40,000. I'm going to end up paying taxes on $40,000. So then my net profit is $40,000. So instead of having to list every single thing individually, one by one, you can upload the CVC file and then say, you know what, 8,000 was the principal, or I'm sorry, 10,000 was a principal, and the ending principal was 50,000. The difference is 40,000. That's what you're going to pay taxes on. That's the way I've always done them with when I traded the financial market, especially when I was really placing heavy trades and placing tons of trades. As time went on, I was placing more trades than ever. But when I first started, I think I was placing like 10 trades, 8 trades a year. And because I was a hodler at that time. And, I was able to individually put them in. But as the years went on, I was like, I'm spending way too much time, individually putting these in. And the tax layer that I use, or tax act, allowed me to just upload the CVC file and be able to put in exactly, what the starting principal was, what the ending principal was. And then it said, okay, this is your profit or this is your loss, and then pay taxes according to that. But yeah, Xkiller, it's really your responsibility. It's not anybody else's responsibility. That's the way the IRS is going to look at it. They're going to say it's your responsibility to keep track of it. You should have kept track of it. So either, having your own spreadsheet and every trade, jotting it down and putting it down, or just, if you're using Coinbase, or GDAX, it's there. I was able to look at all my history and look at some of the bad trades that I made, not losses, but it's like, man, I had 430 Ether at $23, and I sold some at $25. I sold some at $28. I was like, what was I thinking? Like, I was looking at that spreadsheet and I was like, man, I made some dumb moves, some dumb moves, where the profit could have been a lot more. NVO.io. I will look at that. I will definitely, let me put that on a better list so I don't misplace it. Yeah, so CVS, not CVC. Crypto Cutter, thank you so much. But yeah, any exchange, Gemini, GDAX, Bitfinex. I was actually able to log into Bitfinex and print out the CVS. The only thing with Bitfinex, though, is it wouldn't allow me to do it for the whole year. I had to go only 3 months increments. So I had to do every 3 months, go in, print it out, or not print it out, save it, and then do another 3 months, print it, unsave it, another 3 months, save it. But GDAX, as well as Gemini, will allow you to see the whole thing. But yeah, it's just, you print out that CVS, or you save that CVS file, and then there is a way to upload that when you're doing your taxes, or if you have somebody doing your taxes, they'll know exactly what to do with that CVS file. Costs. I will look at costs a little more, and it is decentralized. Yeah, I just didn't like their platform. It's not really for a trader. That's the only thing. As much as I hate Bitfinex had a great platform. It really did. They had the trading view chart. GDAX is not really for trading. It's not. Their platform sucks. And I'm just talking about with their trading, with their charting tools. Same thing with Gemini. Their charting tool sucks. Binance, their charting tool is actually pretty decent. But yeah, a lot of the exchanges, their charting sucks. And, I like to stay on one exchange. I don't want to have to, look at TradingView or look at CryptoWatch and then have to hop onto that exchange to be able to place a trade. Yes, I know you can do it from TradingView, and yes, you can do it from CryptoWatch, but that's a service that you got to pay for. And I don't want to have to pay for that type of service. CVS from Bittrex. So you, sir, are a shitcoin trader. No, I'm not, dude. Olaf, if that's if that comment was for me, no, I'm not a shitcoin trader at all. You guys know me a lot better than that. Or was it somebody else that was asking about Bittrex? I don't know if it was somebody else asking about Bittrex. But I mean, Bittrex, I mean, yeah, they do have a lot of shit coins. But just because you're trading on Bittrex doesn't mean you're trading shit coins, though, Olaf. They do have, majority of the coins that are in the top 20. Well, actually, they have all the coins that are in the top 20 on Bittrex. The newest and soon to be, yes, altcoin.io. I have signed up for their, I don't know, it wasn't their beta that I signed up for. I forget. I signed up for their something. But yeah, I already set up an account, and that was a long time ago, actually. Long time ago. I think I shared it on the Slack chat about altcoin.io. And that had to be probably 2 months ago, I'm going to say. Yeah, options are always good. Options are always good. You should not be limited to one exchange and one exchange only. You should definitely have different options because exchanges can go down. We know it. We know they can go down. So it's not safe to have everything on one exchange. You kind of want to spread it out. If everybody, when Bittrex was shutting people out, locking people out of their account, if somebody had all their coins on Bittrex, I mean, they were stuck. There was nothing that they were able to do. If the market was going against them or going for them and they wanted to get out of a trade, they couldn't get out of a trade. So, always kind of diversify in the sense of your coins that you're investing in, and also diversify in, what exchanges you're using, have different options. I don't use Bitfinex anymore. I got barred. They dropped a hammer on me. They dropped a hammer on a lot of us. So if you're using Bitfinex, then you're definitely not from the U.S. But any U.S. residents, excuse me, were barred. Altcoin.io wallet is about ready to be sent out. That's good, and I think they also have the ability to do atomic swap. I haven't looked at it recently, but last time I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this is great. You can do atomic swap. And it's a trading platform built by traders. And I cover that too. I mean, I didn't put the title in the video, but I did cover that a while ago about altcoin.io. I think it was basically when I did my rant on some of these exchanges. Somebody said, "Oh, what exchanges should we use? Considering a lot of these exchanges are just shady." I think it was during that video that I talked about altcoin.io. But yeah, I'm a fan. It's something to test out, something new to try. And if it works out, that's great. And if they don't, then there's other options. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I definitely want to thank you for your time. And yes, atomic swap too. Yep. But it is that time for me to kind of end this live stream, and it's gone a lot longer than I kind of expected, but there was a lot to talk about. So hopefully nobody got offended with what I had to say about Cboe and CME futures trading and how they can bring it down to its knees. But it's something to definitely keep in the back of your mind and not think that everything is hunky-dory and gravy with Bitcoin and up that we're seeing now. If that's not in the back of your mind, that's basically what's fueling this market. It's the knobs that are coming onto this market, and for it to hit almost 13,000, 12,947 on GDAX, and depending on what exchange you're personally looking at right now, let's see if it's even over 13,400 that I predicted. It did hit 13,100. But yeah, definitely keep that in the back of your mind, because it's probably going to be one of the biggest platforms to be able to manipulate BTC. It will be. If we think BTC is manipulated now, it's even going to be heavily manipulated kind of going forward. Do I know a U.S. exchange that has IOTA? I do not. Binance. I mean, you can use Binance. It definitely has IOTA. But I don't know of any U.S. exchanges. But yeah, I wanted to kind of answer that comment for you, Olaf. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate it. This is Crypto Trader and Crypto Trader's Room. Last frontier and keeping it real with honesty and integrity. Thank you so much for joining. And if you're a new-time viewer and you found this information helpful, don't forget to click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification and give this a thumbs up. And if you didn't like the information, you're more than welcome to give it a thumbs down. I will not hold it against you at all. But yeah, until Friday, you guys stay safe out there. If you have profits, trim your position. Be happy with those profits, especially with BTC going up this high, this quick, too fast. I would be happy with the profits and not get too greedy. And don't sell everything, but learn to lock in a little bit of the profit. There's nothing wrong with that. But until Friday, nothing but the utmost respect, peace, and love. Stay safe, and we'll talk on Friday.